You are listening to Transreal News, the finest news, forecasts, and advisories for psychonauts traveling the astral plane and beyond. I'm your host, Toby Damned. And now, the news in brief. The Head Mafia did something never before witnessed in the history of organized crime, a full-body surrender to police forces of the upper planes. They stated that they would rather surrender and face the music than be subjected to the continued vicious pursuit by the Freelance Police. The Freelance Police, who were hired by several planar elite after the heads of their beloved ones were stolen from display cases a little over a month ago, have drawn protests by uninvolved parties over the excessive amounts of violence and collateral damage they have incurred. They have been described as having a shoot-first and seance-later method of policing, to which many attribute the success of their continued investigation. A total media blackout and further travel wards have been imposed by the authorities. Any lower possibility that is not immediately proximal to Earth is now considered off-limits and completely incommunicado. Reports from the upper planes mention massive movement by Archons in the employ of the authorities. Where is the slime going? Experts now agree that while the slime was originally the result of the collective psychic damage done by broadcast television in the 1940s to its effective death, its development has slowed and stalled in the wake of streaming services between 2012 and 2021. But as streaming services became more tame, politically correct, advertising-driven, and risk-averse, the slime resumed growth at an accelerated rate in the last few years, consuming many upper possibilities. Has its growth really stopped in the last few weeks? Is it the direct leak onto Southern California? The hive's continued consumption of the slime? Massive industrial harvesting? With new ad-driven tiers on most streaming platforms, it should be growing even faster. Experts are baffled. And now, your Timespace Forecast with Torg Skullcrusher. I, Torg Skullcrusher, am here to tell you what is to come, so that you may gorge your loins and adjust your chainmail bikinis, to arm yourselves appropriately for the strangeness to come. The time echoes across the Americas are now also being felt in India, Sri Lanka, Oceania, Korea, Vietnam, China, Japan, Laos, and even Kenya. Be ready to feel absent-minded, confused about the day, and give yourself plenty of lead time if you do not wish to be tardy and see a hungrier rival seize your opportunities. A time ripple appears to be stuck over Quito, Ecuador. They can expect waves of Incan culture to manifest themselves in unexpected ways. It may be a good time to go shopping for fine crystal, but be on the lookout for confused conquistadors. Finally, be aware that the horde is on the move again, and those of you who are weak, gormless, and complacent have but few chances to turn yourselves around and leave a legacy worth honoring, and raise children who will bring you glory, lest you be expunged from time itself to make room for more worthy bloodlines. Back to you, Toby. And now, a commercial message from our partners.
Announcing the hottest guide to astral travel, chaos magic, time manipulation, bull data, and applied karma that has ever been written. Getting Laid Across the Multiverse, written by your favorite psychic cowboy, Bob Harmon.
And his clever, streetwise, and nymphomaniacal partner, Ashley Clow.
Getting Laid Across the Multiverse is a guide to the 37 most visited planes of existence, what they are, how to get to them, and what perils you may face.
But with an emphasis on the practical. We'll tell you how to earn a quick buck, what to bring for barter, how to find a safe place to stay, how to quickly identify and neutralize common threats, and most importantly, how to make friends and get laid without paying on each plane.
Stacked with easily memorized acronyms, spells, rhymes, tips, and tactics, Getting Laid Across the Multiverse is a practical hands-on guide to staying safe and having fun when you need a break from life on Earth.
Step out of reality and see what the noosphere has hidden under all them clothes.
Coming soon to a bookstore near you.
Our own Yaron recently caught up with the Freelance Police, who have managed to win the unprecedented victory against the Head Mafia. and convince them to give us an interview live here on Transreal News.
Welcome to Transreal News, officers. Thank you for coming by. What should we call you?
Well, I think officers is gonna have to do to keep us legally distinct from the characters you've been lovingly lampooning all season now.
Way to break the fourth wall, partner.
Oh, good point, little buddy. Where are my manners? How meta are we allowed to get here?
Well, we mostly play it straight, but for you guys, we can make an exception.
Talk about hospitality.
Great. I love a good postmodern pastiche.
You need to cut back on those, Pod. They're starting to affect your waistline. I'll settle for one of those donuts.
Please, help yourself. So, officers, I think some congratulations are in order. This is the first time in history the crooks have been so scared of the cops that a whole syndicate just surrendered from the boss to the soldiers. How'd you manage such incredible success?
Well, there was some dogged police work involved, obviously. And being freelancers, we aren't really stuck with those pesky things like proper procedure, a schedule, or the onerous demands of a criminal justice system.
Not to mention my penchants for excessive and comical levels of violence.
I still have nightmares about that bowling alley, little buddy.
Ah, memories. I bowled a perfect game.
And with such uneven balls, too.
There are a lot of people who worry that your brand of excessive brutality needlessly blurs the lines between justice and pure revenge, especially if you choose to enforce the rights of the wrong kind of people.
Oh, don't worry, we definitely have scruples.
And besides, those people couldn't afford us anyway.
Still, I feel...
Hey, what's with the hack?
He appears to have fallen in some kind of trance. Hey, you okay? Is there a witch doctor in the house?
Step aside, lovably violent cartoon animals. This is a job for a true barbarian.
Damn it, Torg, get the hell off of him.
I'm not trying to harm him, fool. I'm trying to save him. Now, Clee, hand me a lighter.
Here. How'd you know I had one?
Because you're the right kind of degenerate. Now hush, I must concentrate.
Should we do something?
Absolutely. We should get these donuts out of the way and help ourselves to the advisory guy's stash.
How do you know what kind of counterspell to use?
Hush, let me concentrate or I will feed you your own teeth. Have you not seen how he gets all hazy or tongue-tied whenever he talks of Tool of Falla? This is necromancy. They created a hole in his aura where the life force could leak out if he ever defied them. Damnation, it's too late. These Tool of Falla witches have done a coward's work today.
It looks like we witnessed a murder, Pard.
It does it that, good buddy.
Should we do something about it?
I don't know. The free and freelance doesn't mean we take just any case. Just the ones the chief tells us to.
I shall pay your weight in donuts to bring retribution on Tool of Falla.
That is a tempting offer.
Wait, didn't you kill this guy once?
Yes, but now he is of my clan. None shall give insult to Transreal News without retribution.
You're just an HR nightmare waiting to happen, aren't you, fella?
Go forth. Blood and donuts await.
Well, why not? We're between cases. You've got us until the chief says otherwise.
I'll drive.
No, you won't. Dead again. Jesus Christ. I've called the hospital for what it's worth. Not much point at this juncture, Clee. What options do we have for bringing him back? A few. I'll make some calls. Clee, what about your advisories?
Oh, yes. I'm afraid we're going to have to rush the advisories and close out, darlings. Your spirit guide is a tad distracted at the moment. If I were in a necromantic cult on either side of the pond right now, I might advise you to be ready for it to be raining lead. Otherwise, my biggest advice is, with the travel ban on the lower plains and the receding slime, it might be a good idea to go treasure hunting on the upper plains, but be wary. People are still watching crap and letting it bend their minds. The collective trauma to the human intellect has to be going somewhere. Toby?
Oh, right. You have been listening to the Transreal News, the finest news, forecasts, and advisories for astral projectors, ethereal jaunters, time travelers, and people on serious LSD trips. From all of us to all of you, safe journeys. The Transreal News was created, directed, written, and performed by Brian C. Rideout, and produced by Stormhead Productions, and is released under a Creative Commons by Attribution, Non-Commercial 4.0 license. This episode of Transreal News included music and sound effects from Pixabay. For show notes or contact information, visit trans-real.stormheadproductions.ca or visit me on Twitter at transrealpod. Thank you so much for listening.